Hey guys, be honest with me down in the comment section. Do you still want college football videos this time of year? Obviously, things have slowed down a bit. There's still some transfer portal stuff going on, but I understand national championship's over, recruiting for the most part is over, portal's winding down. If you want us to take a break until, spring ball or once the season rolls around, that's fine. Type in for no. But if you want us to come up with more college football content, do more videos like we're about to do, top 25 rankings updated, type Y for yes. Be honest with us. We're cool either way. We also cover the NFL and the NBA, so we can do more of that if you don't want more college football videos this time of year. All right, let's dive into today's show. I'm Harrison Graham, and on today's video, we're going to take a look at my updated top 25 rankings after the NFL draft entry deadline. There were a couple of notable moving parts in there. Obviously, Caleb Williams officially declared, but also JJ McCarthy. There's Jim Harbaugh rumors about him leaving Michigan. So that could alter the rankings here. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Not a lot of change between 25 and 21 here. Memphis Tigers, I still think they're the top G5 team heading into next year. Got them in there at number 25. North Carolina State Wolfpack, Dave Doran's done a nice job the last couple of years. I think back-to-back 9-win seasons. Had a good finish to this season as well. Got them at 24. The Iowa Hawkeyes, can they do anything offensively? Cade McNamara is back after he got injured early last season, as my producer just sneezed in my ear. Hopefully their offense is as exciting as that sneeze was, because if it is, it'll be better than what they've had. Number 22, it is the Louisville Cardinals. Really good first year for Jeff Brom. It kind of ended in a skid, 3 straight losses, but still a 10-win season. I think all Louisville fans would have signed up for that in year 1. We'll see what he has for an encore in year 2. The Kansas Jayhawks, listen, Lance Leipold has done an excellent job rebuilding that program. He was linked to the Washington opening, but he is still in Lawrence. Jalen Daniels is back at quarterback this upcoming season. He could be in line for a big year, so if he is, they could be in the mix to win the Big 12 Conference. At number 20, the Washington Huskies. Not really sure yet what to think of UW after Kalen DeBoer leaves. Obviously, a lot of talent going to the NFL. I do like the hire of Jedd Fisch. You grab him from Arizona, who did a nice job with the Wildcats, won 10 games this past season. So I think that's a pretty adequate replacement there. So we'll see what other assistant coaches he's going to bring on board. He said he's going to try and bring as many of his guys as he can. But Washington has a lot of rebuilding to do in terms of personnel on the football field. So we'll see if that's an overnight process or if that takes a year or 2. All right, number 19, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Mike Gundy doing a great job last year. I did not expect them to be a team contending for a Big 12 championship. They did. Alan Bowman gets a 7th year of eligibility. We'll see how he plays next season. Ollie Gordon back at running back. That's the key return for that football team. Number 18, the Kansas State Wildcats. A lot of hype around Avery Johnson, their quarterback heading into year 2. He, kind of split time some with Will Howard this past season. Howard entered the portal, so he got to play the entire bowl game and did some good things, and there's a lot of expectations for him in Manhattan. Number 17, it is the Clemson Tigers, as Dabo Swinney did not really appear to be in the mix for the Alabama job. For years it was always like he's going to replace Nick Saban, but he has not embraced the transfer portal a ton. He is not an NIL guy. They had a strong finish of the year, won 9 games. Can they get back into the college football playoff mix? 12-team playoff, you would think they could. We'll see what this season brings for Clemson and Cade Klubnik, who enters his 2nd season as a starter. Okay, number 16, Arizona. Dropped them a little bit. You lose your head coach that won 10 games. It's going to drop you a few spots. But there is a report out there from Dennis Dodd that quarterback Noah Fafita could be returning next year, as is Tatoria McMillan, one of their top players as well. The chatter is that they're going to stay at Arizona. You would think Jedd Fisch is going to push to try and get them to go to Washington, but wide receiver coach Kevin Cummings is apparently key to Fafita returning. And this is a top 10 quarterback in college football. If you don't know the name Noah Fafita, get to know it, because he was terrific this year for Arizona. And if he stays, I think that's a bigger deal than losing Jedd Fisch, because he can really throw the football. He's mobile. I think they're a team that can contend in the Big 12. But I do got to drop them a few spots after losing their head coach. Who's going to be better in 2024? Is it going to be Washington, who added Jed Fish, or Arizona, who lost Jed Fish? Type W for Washington, A for Arizona. The Huskies going to the Big Ten. The Wildcats going to the Big 12. Let us know who you guys think will be the better team. All right, we are sponsored by PrizePicks. It is daily fantasy made easy. College football is over, but you can still play daily fantasy during the NFL playoffs. You can play on a daily basis with college basketball and with the NBA, NHL as well. All you do is select more or less on your players, 2 to 6 player entries. You can cross over sports, do it all within one sport, do it all within one game if you want to. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. I got a 3-player entry for the NFL divisional round this weekend. Josh Allen typically puts up big numbers when he and the Chiefs play each other. Patrick Mahomes, they usually duel it out. So I like the more on Allen's passing yards there. Dalton Schultz has been terrific for the Texans. I know they're playing a good Ravens defense, but C.J. Stroud's going to find him. I like the more on those receiving yards. And then Aaron Jones has been hot recently, but I got to think the 49ers are going to try and take the Packers' rushing attack away and make Jordan Love be a straight drop-back passer. So that's 10 to win 50 on that 3-player entry. You can win up to 25 times your money on a 6-player entry. Get started today. Sign up at PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. The Tennessee Volunteers come in at number 15. I really like how their freshman quarterback played in the bowl game, and it's going to take more practice for me to memorize his name. Tough pronunciation, but Nico looks like the real deal, man. The last name, we'll work on it here, but I think that's going to be an upgrade over Joe Milton this year, so we'll see how that plays out. The Oklahoma Sooners at number 14. I don't really know what to do with OU. Jackson Arnold, their freshman quarterback, played in the bowl game, flashed the talent, also had 4 turnovers against Arizona in that loss in the Alamo Bowl. My biggest concern for Oklahoma is, are they going to be able to protect Arnold going to the SEC? They're losing a lot up front on that offensive line. I think that's a key area to watch for Brent Venables' team this year. Number 13, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Sam Hartman graduates. They're going to lose Audric Estime, their running back, but they do get Riley Leonard from Duke in the transfer portal. Marcus Freeman brought in another top 5 recruiting class, so they should be in the mix to be in the college football playoff, 12-team playoff, like I said. Number 12, the LSU Tigers. Can they fix the defense? I think the offense will be good. That's been proven in 2 seasons under Brian Kelly. Yes, you lose Jaden Daniels. Yes, you're going to lose Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, but I think Garrett Nussmeier is ready to take over and play at a high level. Saw that in the bowl game, so I'm not worried about their offense. It's all about the defensive side of the ball for the LSU Tigers. Guys, we crossed 352,000 subscribers here at Chat Sports. Let's get to 353. If you want more college football videos, again, let me know, yes or no. Subscribe. We cover the college football, the NFL, NBA. If you want videos every single day around the sports world, hit that sub button. It's free. All right, number 11, the Florida State Seminoles. Mike Norvell. There was some chatter he could be in the mix at Alabama. He's staying put in Tallahassee. They bring in DJ Uiagalelei to take over for Jordan Travis. They got a lot of guys going pro, a couple of receivers on offense. They lose Jared Verse and a few pieces on defense. But it feels like Norvell's got that program going in the right direction. I think they're on the cusp of being a top 10 team again. The Missouri Tigers coming in at number 10 as they had one of their best seasons in school history, won 11 games. Eli Drinkwitz is kind of a meme, but he delivered this past year. We'll see if they can do it again this year. Veteran quarterback coming back, has some talent coming back. Luther Burden, that receiver, remember that name. He's one of the best receivers in the country. He'll be a first-round pick next year in 2025. They're going to be a fun team this year, man. Number 9, the Utah Utes, Cam Rising, year 7. Where were you 7 years ago? Well, Cam Rising was a freshman at Texas. Now he's entering year 7 of college football. But if healthy, I think he's a top 10 quarterback in this sport. That's a big deal. We know how good of a coach Kyle Whittingham is. They're going to play stingy defense. Rising's going to distribute the ball offensively. They're right there in the mix to win the Big 12. Number 8, the Michigan Wolverines. I dropped them a few spots here because a lot going on, right? Blake Corum gone, JJ McCarthy gone. They do get back Donovan Edwards. That's a big deal. He had a bit of an up-and-down season, but kind of refound his game in the college football national championship game, couple of long touchdowns. But you lose Jim Harbaugh, feels like a big deal, right? Like, I think you can overcome losing J.J. McCarthy, who kind of was just a really good game manager, for being honest. True freshman Jaden Davis has a lot of talent, so I think you could make it work. But Harbaugh has interviewed with the Chargers. He's interviewed with the Falcons. it just feels like the time he's going to make the jump back to the NFL. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but don't be surprised if this is the time he jumps. And if he does, I would expect Michigan to promote Sharon Moore to head coach. He obviously did really well as the interim in games Harbaugh missed this year, but as the permanent guy, I mean, it's hard to say that there wouldn't be some bit of a drop-off, especially considering the personnel pieces they're looking. I think it's a top 10 team. Not sure it's a national title team right now. Where will Jim Harbaugh coach in 2024? You think it's going to be Michigan, Chargers, Falcons, somewhere else? What if the Cowboys make a coaching change? Let us know in the comment section down below. It's weird having Penn State ranked ahead of Michigan, and I'm not even saying I'd pick them to beat Michigan, but they probably have more relevant pieces coming back. Now, if Drew Aller doesn't improve, it probably doesn't matter, but they're loaded on defense. They have skill talent. Can James Franklin finally break through and beat one of Michigan or Ohio State? Maybe that opportunity is there if Jim Harbaugh leaves Michigan, which, based on this ranking, I am projecting that, but I still have to see it to believe it. At number 6, the Ole Miss Rebels. Great transfer offseason for Lane Kiffin, although they did lose Quinshon Judkins at the last minute to Ohio State. That was a bummer for Ole Miss, but they've added a lot of talent. Jackson Dart is back. This feels like the year Ole Miss is ready to break through. Now, 12-team playoff makes it a little easier to break through, but maybe they challenge in Alabama. Maybe they are in the mix to beat a Georgia, although that feels like another step. But Texas and Oklahoma coming in, that's stiffer competition as well. Let's see what the Rebs can do this year. Top 5, Ohio State. Listen, I saw Joe Klatt put out his updated top 10. He has the Buckeyes at number 2. I just can't go there yet. I got to see how Will Howard plays under Ryan Day. I'm still not sure what that looks like yet, but the Judkins addition is huge. We'll talk about Caleb Downs in a second. Sounds like the Buckeyes are in the mix for him as well. If Will Howard can play well, I think, and especially if Jim Harbaugh leaves Michigan, don't be surprised if Ohio State takes back control of the Big Ten. Number 4, Alabama. I just mentioned him. We'll get to Downs in a second, but I do really like the Kalen DeBoer hire. Listen, I'm not saying he's better than Nick Saban. I don't think that. But this is about as good of a recovery as you could have, right? Like, unless you can convince Kirby Smart to come take the job. They tried to get Dan Lanning. That didn't work, but you got the guy who beat Lanning twice this year. You got the guy who went 25-3 at the University of Washington, which has resources, but not to the level of Alabama. I think DeBoer is going to be a good hire. Now, at the same time, they've been losing some guys to the portal. Isaiah Bond to Texas. Caleb Downs is in the portal, or is about to be as well, according to Pete Thamel and other reports. He was one of the best freshmen in the country this year at the safety position. It looks like a future first-round pick. That's a big deal if they lose him. Sounds like Ohio State's pushing, Georgia's pushing, so we'll see what happens there. Maybe they can convince him to stay, but that would be a big loss. I've dropped him a couple of spots based on the transfers out and Nick Saban retiring, but I do like the DeBoer hire. I think the offense with Jalen Milroe will take another step forward with DeBoer in charge, so that's certainly exciting. Number 3, the Oregon Ducks. Listen, Dan Lanning still has to get over the hump in some of these bigger games, but they got 2 good quarterback options. Dylan Gabriel, I would expect to start, but they added Dante Moore as well. A lot of talent on offense coming back. The defense is pretty good too. They go into the Big Ten with the chance to win that conference in year 1. Texas Longhorns enter the SEC with the chance to win that conference in year 1. I don't think they're the favorites. We're going to get to the favorite in a second, but with Bama losing some guys in the portal, including a key player to Texas in the portal and a wide receiver, Isaiah Bond. Texas has been active in the transfer portal recently. Get the Lambos out, baby. They're ready to go down there. Sark has these guys rolling, man. I know there was some disappointment about what happened against Washington, but I would say making the playoff, you could still argue, was an overachievement this year. So I think he's doing a good job. You go into the SEC. The goal when they headed to the SEC was to be at a better place than Oklahoma was. That has been achieved. We'll see if they can keep that rolling once they head to that conference this year. Tough schedule. Michigan in the non-con. You play Georgia as well. We'll see what Texas is able to do. Who's going to be better in 2024? Texas or Bama? Type T for Texas, B for Bama. It's 50-50, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Texas was better again, just like they were this year. So let us know what you guys think down in the comments. T for Texas, B for Bama. And then, look, Georgia, number 1. There's still an argument to be made they were the best team this year. Now, I think Michigan deserves that nod. They went undefeated. They rolled in the national championship game. They beat Alabama, a team that Georgia could not beat. So, I'm not taking anything away from the Wolverines, but from just a pure talent standpoint, by the way, they're bringing a lot of guys back. Like the year before, they lost a ton. They're losing some pieces this year, but this might be the best team Kirby's ever had on paper. You add ETN out of the portal, an explosive offensive player. I think Carson Beck this year is going to be better than Stetson Bennett ever was. He would probably be a second-round pick had he gone to the NFL draft. Georgia's loaded, man. It's gonna be tough, and they're gonna come back with a vengeance. You know they are. So I think they're the team to beat. We'll see if someone can beat them, but they are definitely the top team entering 2024. All right, guys, there you have it. An updated look at our top 25 rankings after the NFL draft entry deadline. That's coming fast with the Jim Harbaugh rumors. We'll see where he ends up. We cover the NFL as well, so if you want to monitor that situation, make sure you guys subscribe. We'll see you guys soon here at Chat Sports.